former world champions playing.
Yeah, we're going to see if Clem can win this again, or we're going to have a new world champion here for 2025. Of course, we have more Protoss representation than ever before, so there's a very realistic shot a Protoss could take this whole thing.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another live VIP or to another broadcast here. Welcome to the Esports World Cup. The Esports World Cup 2025, the global finals, the world finals here for StarCraft 2 for our beloved SC2. Here we go, the end of year event. I say end of year, I guess mid-year events, but this is what everyone has been building up towards the entire year, even last year as well. It's been a bit of a shaky start as well. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, ourselves included, we were not entirely sure if EWC would continue and would actually host StarCraft. That's also why we had a bunch of events all stacked together in a very short period of time with GSL, with Stars, Zagora, DreamHack. But we are back with Esports World Cup. Let's go, let's go. I'm of course just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing casters, by Kalaris, we see Zomburger, we see Rotterdam as well. Likewise, the lovely people in the chat, and my plushies. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Ay. Oh my god, we get to see players. As the players are now arriving, yo, we got Classic, we got Hero, we got Maru, we got Cure. It's beautiful. Well, the Koreans are together, papi. Xian, Ryung as well. You're all coming in. Again, you should be familiar with, as we have the, next set of players. Okay, I see Clem, Trigger, ByuN is, ByuN is with the boys. Solar as well. Very beautiful. Was that an RC shirt towards the end? Interesting. But yeah, it looks like all the players are coming through, or at least they're showing them coming from venue to I should say kind of like where they're housed into the main venue. Yo, Cyril has got his hat, let's go. Yo, how could they fit Gabe on screen like that? That was crazy. Did you see the editing, papi? Oh my god. So Gabe towards the end. But yeah, really great to see all the players. Of course, they have been traveling, they have been practicing, getting ready here for the main event as well, referring to players like Rainer, like Clem, like Trigger that was spending, I want to say, almost a month in South Korea in preparation for this tournament. We've seen a glimpse of them, especially when it comes to the online Open Cups. But now we're here to see kind of where all that, or how all that comes to fruition here at EWC. It's going to be an intense day of StarCraft. I'm sure we're about to go through the brackets. I'm sure we're about to go through the upcoming matches as well. We'll get there. We will get there. Aye. In regards to the play-in stage and the group stage as well. 4 days full of StarCraft. This is merely only day one. We still have 3 more after this as well. Unfortunately, won't be going over into the weekend, but throughout the week. Oh, hello.
Excited for all the StarCraft action to come, but first we wanted to zoom out into the bigger picture. You just saw that Clem etched his name into history here last year on behalf of Team Liquid, who ended up actually finishing second because of Clem. If it was not for Clem, they would not have done that, and he got a really nice fat bonus because of that, is the word on the street. here we are now at the 2025 totem, and Clem has much tougher opposition with the buffs to certain factions and races, and we will see what happens this year. Will he do it again? To explain how the team championship works, here's a video because I cannot explain it myself.
This is the Esports World Cup Club Championship.
They're doing ByuN dirty.
Cross-game competition that will crown the best esports club in the world. Let's break down how it works. Clubs will be able to compete at the Esports World Cup and as many titles as they can qualify for. The clubs will then earn points based on their placement in each title. To qualify for the club championship, a club will need a top 8 placement in at least 2 competitions. But to win the championship, a club must place first in at least 1 competition. At the end of the Esports World Cup, the 24 clubs with the highest number of points will earn a share of the 27 million. With the winner taking home a staggering $7 million. And of course, the title of the best esports club in the world. Who will rise above and write their place in history? Watch it all here at the Esports World Cup.
Again, it was just too complicated for ByuN to explain. It was it's far too complicated. Meanwhile, we have the current standings here. Team Vitality, oh, actually looking pretty good. I know that typically Team Falcons is kind of favored in this, but we got Team Gen.G Esports, Team Falcons, Team Spirit, Evos, Heretics, AGAL, and a bunch of teams that I'm not very familiar with because they're not in StarCraft. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I'm a little bit surprised that Gen.G Esports didn't pick anyone up, bearing in mind that they did actually have a Trap, of course, for a long time. But Trap, he did begin a family, of course, does have, I believe, a daughter now, so Trap did step away. It was a bit of a shame just because Trap, he came back and he was looking really strong at the start of the year. He joined Gen.G Esports, he was looking very in form, and then he did step away. And of course, again, as you mentioned, he's not quite pulling a Dark. He was still competing, even, with becoming new Pappy, of course, at least for quite some time, before eventually going to the military. Trap has already done his military service, but he did decide to be a family man, so he stepped away from StarCraft, stepped away from competing. And Gen.G didn't actually pick up another player, and we'll get into him, I guess, because up first is going to be Astrea. There's a lot to talk about there regarding the fact that he's not on a team. It is a bit of a feels bad, man. Again, Astrea, the only player not on a team, the only player not being supported. No one had faith. Astrea, he was definitely in form. He's been looking in form, especially when it comes to his PvT. We'll get there. Oh, as we have another content piece.
No competition is as ruthless as the Esports World Cup. Its trophy system is no exception. The Club Championship Trophy, awarded to the one club that rose above the rest and reigned supreme across all EWC games. The Game Trophy, when a competitor closes their eyes, it's all they see, and it's not complete until it's sealed with a champion's key. Every participant earns a key engraved with their name. That's their right to compete. This year, returning champions hold a key unlike any other. Only one can place their key into the Game Trophy and become an EWC champion. The frame of the champion's key is embedded into the totem, a stone marker of legacy displaying every champion of the year. The keys of the eliminated will be crushed. The champions select 3 broken keys as a personal token, a reminder of who they have humbled. Beneath the totem, a resin block holds the remaining keys, a graveyard of fallen contenders. Will your dreams be broken or your name carved in gold and stone? At EWC, nothing is granted, everything is earned.
Well, we're just running the EWC ads. We're just let's go. We have a breakdown of the tournament prize pool: 700,000 USD with 200K for first place, going all the way down to 18th place as well. But we were just discussing again Gen.G Esports and Trap, and getting into Astrea as well. What I was getting at is that again, Astrea, he's the only player that is currently not on a team, that is not being represented, which is a bit of a shame because again, he could have benefited a team for his placement for making it this far in EWC. We spoke about it, I believe, during the podcast about how I believe the period, the the player signing and the player transfer period had closed. So Astrea, by the time he made it in, it was a little bit too late to actually get picked up by another team. That's kind of a rule in place to kind of stop poaching and stop teams from like trying to take players from opposing teams in the lead up to EWC as well. But that did negatively impact Astrea, which is a big shame. Assuming that he's still teamless, unless I kind of missed anything. Yeah, just double check. Yeah. The only teamless player. So much love to Astrea, and again, he's going to be the first player to compete here later on tonight. I did see some people asking about Pig earlier in the chat, and yes, for those of you that are not on social media, Pig was going to the event.
StarCraft 2 World Champion will be crowned here in Riyadh in just a few days, but the road to the top is never easy. So let's take a look at how the path to glory will shape up for our contenders. The tournament features 18 players and is divided into 3 stages. First comes the play-in stage, where 4 of our gladiators battle for 2 spots in the group stage.
Take it away, Kalaris.
Format, which in essence means that 2 wins and you're through to the next stage, and 2 losses means that you're out. However, we don't envy the ones that qualify, as right off the bat they're thrown into deep waters, with Clem and Cyril waiting for them in the group stage, along with 12 other players, making it 16 in total. It's a dual tournament format again in the groups, so players will be looking for those 2 wins again to make it to the quarterfinals, avoid the double loss, or you're done in Riyadh. Here, matches are divided into the well-known round of 8, played in best of 5 format. Round of 4 will be played in best of 7 format, and of course, the grand finals is played in a best of 9.
Oh, let's go.
Our new world champion shall claim his throne, alongside a hefty $200,000 and 1,000 points for the club championship.
Beautiful. There's just so much to get into. But yes, for those of you that are not on social medias, Pig, he's now a Bappy. He's now a Bappy. It actually happened ahead of time. I believe 24 weeks, a little bit premature for Pig and Dot and their son. But much love to Pig, much love to Dot as well, and the family that they have ByuN, of course. And it does mean that Pig is not traveling, is not going to EWC because his son was just born. So is of course spending time with the family, and that is why I believe Steadfast is going instead, or Steadfast is there. I believe Steadfast is going to be a part of the B stream. I believe the Muslim, Fear Dragon, and Steadfast, they're all in the B stream. Everyone else is going to be a part of the main stream in some way. You just heard Kalaris. Kalaris is the main host. We have Katz Paulo. He's going to be the main interviewer. So we saw Katz with a bit of a segment himself, and he should be able to approach the players and get some of their insights as well. And of course, we have Zobrigub and Rotterdam. They are analysts. Now, my big concern coming into this was that they would be stuck in the analyst role. I remember we were discussing this in Fear Dragon stream the other day with Zombie as well, about how that would be sometimes they're very strict when it comes to their roles, and it would be a really big shame if they don't allow Rotterdam and Zombie to cast. If you recall, last year that happened with Wardy, that happened with Paulo as well, where they didn't really get to cast. But we got another segment. Power ranking favorites: Cyril, Clem, Classic, Hero, Maru, and Raynor. Okay. What's this power ranking based off? What's it? I don't think I'm too opposed to the generality of the players picked there. The other thing that I'm hoping that we're going to see is, for those that remember, at DreamHack Dallas, at the DreamHack Dallas EWC event, there was no on-stage host, and it was kind of a weird setup that they had, but they were interviewing the players and the winners, the players that did qualify for EWC. The interviews weren't shown on stream at the time, but I'm pretty sure they were making content pieces for this event, for EWC, so I hope we get to see that. Meanwhile, we have the contenders. We have Solar, Cure, ByuN, and Shin as our contenders. I think they're just based on, I think this is maybe just like EWC point rankings, maybe. But maybe the casters came together and came to an agreement on these set of players. What we want to see is Roddy defend his King of the Hill title. True. For those who weren't here last year, there was like a caster brawl. There was like a caster like FFA King of the Hill show match that they did host, including like Magnath and some of the others. So yeah, it'll be fun if they do something similar to that. That if they do that, that'll be on the final day. Yo, the Dark Horses: Zound, Showtime, and Rogue. Okay, let's go. But yeah, it looks like maybe the casters were asked about their own power rankings to like set this up. In general, coming into this, I do kind of lean towards players like Serral, players like Clem. Classic, of course, is coming in very strong form, and a lot of people are looking at Classic, but there are some other players that have been hiding builds and intentionally has been avoiding the spotlight. Hero is a big example of that. I feel like a lot of people have maybe... I will say that Hero's fallen by the wayside a little bit, and a lot of people are maybe not really giving too much consideration to Hero as of late, but a big reason for that is because, again, Hero, he has been playing in so much less. We did point that out over the past month of play, where he barely has been playing in any online tournaments. He has shown up for some events like RSL, true, for RSL and for some events here and there, but again, typically Hero, he's on that grind. That has not been the case in the lead up to this year's EWC, just because he has been intentionally hiding his builds, and he did speak on this. If you were here last year, you would know that he did the same thing for like a month, maybe a month and a half leading up to EWC. Here he also avoided any kind of online tournaments, and he was intentionally hiding his play and hiding his build in lead up to EWC. This year he did the same thing. So players like Hero have done this. Solar has done the same. True, Solar, he's also been a little less active. He's also been intentionally hiding his play. But there are other players that haven't. There are other players that have taken the opposite approach, and they've been on that grind to be able to refine their mechanics and refine their play. ByuN is an example of that. Showtime is also a big example of that, where Showtime, he's been playing more tournaments than ever before in the lead up to EWC. Like, he has been so active. So it's really interesting to see kind of like this different approach here, where some players have been hiding their builds, other players have been playing in more, just so they have that experience, they have that like stamina that they've been building up over time, whether it's stamina, whether it's endurance, whether it's mechanics as well, whether it's that tournament format experience. So different approaches for different players. It's always interesting. Always interesting to see. Ooh. As we do have our attending, there we go. We have our attending players. We should be getting like another slide of this as well. Let's go. We got Clem, Zaun, Sol. I'm still waiting for them to show off the groups themselves, but Clem, Zaun, Solar, Rainer, Shin, Trigger, Maru, Hero, Cyan / Lancer, Showtime, Classic, Rogue, Serral, and Cure. And I believe they still have to show off the play-in players as well. There it is. Playing and 10 players. It's going to be ByuN, Astrea, Gabe, and Lambo. Again, they're going to be competing in the play-in stage. They're going to be the first players to compete here on stream to determine who will make it through into the group stage. And I believe they're going to be seeded into Clem and Serral, which was said in the infographic or the infomercial earlier, which is brutal, by the way. To make it through the play-ins into Serral or Clem is not going to be easy. Not at all. But best of luck to our 4 players. Oh my god.
EWC 우승은 프로 게이머로서 최종 꿈을 이루는 거지 않나 싶습니다.
일단 결산대 우승이 없는 상태라서 제가 우승한다면은 너무 뜻깊을 것 같아요.
올해 끝? 그러니까 마무리? 네, 올해의 마무리.
And that is it! It's over! Clem is your world champion, defeating Serral 5-0!
Obviously, we feel amazing to lift the trophy again, and it would make me the only back-to-back world champion in StarCraft, which never happened before, so the fact that I get the chance to do that is going to be very fun and amazing and exciting.
Against the Serral. Those files looking all Hero! Not watching! He just lost almost all of his point rate!
I think Protoss has a chance this year to take the throne. The recent patch made Protoss a lot more stronger than before, so yeah, I definitely think it's possible.
밸런스도 그렇고 그다음에 저그랑 테란 선수들이 프로토스한테 어려워하는 건 사실이니까 결승전을 갈 수 있을 것 같지만 우승은 뭐 힘들 것 같아요.
또 게이머 생활하면서 없는 커리어가 생기는 게 더 좋을 것 같습니다.
They triple medevac and just seconds away from sustaining the show.
It would feel amazing to win again here in Riyadh since I won Gamers 8.
솔직히 긴장이 좀 많이 되긴 하는데 준비된 것 같습니다.
Okay, keep it. Oh, the medevac. Okay, one medevac down, but all hot pickups again.
I am ready to crush my opponent's keys and dreams.
This year is the time for the real world champion to lift up the trophy.
Oh, we don't have Fancy anymore. True, true. Yo, Fancy was like one of the best parts of EWC. Give me my Fancy. Oh. Yo, we gotta... What's going on? Let's go. Yo, we're playing in the players.
Hello, StarCraft 2 fans, and welcome to Riyadh. Welcome to the biggest tournament in StarCraft 2. It's week 3 of the Esports World Cup, and we have 18 of the very best StarCraft 2 players ready to duke it out for their share of a $700,000 prize pool. My name is Seltzer, and this is Sandstorm.
And this is the Saudi National Bank Esports Arena. The players that are about to join us aren't here to just compete. They are representing their teams, their regions, and the countless hours that they have poured into their craft. One chance, one stage, and the whole world is watching. So, without further ado, let's welcome the legends of the game to the arena, starting with the lone wolf from NA. It's Astrea! Qualifying through the Americas Regional Qualifiers, taking second place, earning a spot here through the play-ins. Can he make it by getting it first at the EWC?
I appreciate that they're playing up that he's on his own. I appreciate it.
Representing Mouse, it's Hero Marine. He's represented this org since his StarCraft 2 debut, nearly 14 years ago, and he has never once stopped making them proud.
And now, joining us in the SMB Arena, it's Shopify Rebellion.
Oh, the Shopify boys.
Represented by ByuN, who qualified through the Korean Regional Qualifiers, earning a direct spot at the EWC. And alongside him is duo Lambo, qualifying from the EU Regional Qualifiers.
Next, Basilisk. As intimidating a roster as their name implies, with one champion of Gamers 8, one of the world's winning most players, and one of the best in LA. In NA, it's Trigger, Cyril, and Rainer.
Yo, best in LA, let's go.
And now, it's none other than JD Gaming. Represented by Cyan, qualifying through the Asian Regional Qualifiers through the Chinese bracket, earning himself a play-in spot now here at the EWC. Can he make it to the main event?
Next, Sentinels. Represented by Showtime, who qualified through the Bellum Gens Elite Stars Agora. He joined Sentinels in May, and he's already proved the value of that investment.
And now, leading in Club Championship points as we start Week 3, it's Team Vitality! Represented by a multi-time GSL champion and the top-seeded KR player, it's none other than Maru, joined by Zune, who also made it through the KR Close Qualifiers. Can this duo make it all the way to the top?
Yo, we're about to Zune. Let's go.
Next, Twisted Minds. Represented by Hero, the GSL Season 1 winner. He's hoping to pick up points for his team in the Club Challenge, as well as another victory with his powered-up Protoss.
And now, it's Virtus Pro! Represented by none other than Classic, who qualified through DreamHack Dallas with strong placements in the global LAN, giving him a direct invite here at the EWC.
Now, Weibo Gaming, represented by Shin. This Zerg qualified through DreamHack Dallas also, and he's looking to pick up his first S-tier victory. Also, he's never been in better form to do it.
No, Weibo Gaming.
Representatives from the Club Championship champions of last year in 2024 here at EWC, it's Falcons. With Rogue, a former world champion, and Solar qualifying through DreamHack Dallas, this duo is looking to get the first win for Team Falcons at EWC.
No one's made a post. Oh.
Team Liquid, a legendary StarCraft organization represented today by Cure, who earned his spot through the Korea qualifying gauntlet, as well as the defending champion of StarCraft 2 at EWC, the French Terran Clem. There is so much history on this stage represented by these players, so much history between them, and so much history still to make this week.
And now the hunt begins once again to crown a champion here at this arena. And this time, it's for none other than StarCraft. So, 4 days of competition ahead of us. Let's begin as the journey for the hunt for the champion begins now. Without further ado, let's head on over to the studio and start off our first game of the day.
Oh, let's go. Oh my god. I love that. See, ByuN, he was showing off his gains on the player photo, but not on the stage, Pappy. Take it off, Pappy. Take it off. But yes, we're gonna be featuring our 4 players here coming to play in stage. Oh, let's go. I always appreciate the poses from the players. With Lambo, with Hero Marine, with Astrea, and with ByuN. Let's go. Also, I was not ready for the for the howling noises. I was not ready. But I appreciate it. And here we go. Here we have the bracket itself. Again, we have ByuN versus Astrea, Gabe versus Lambo. Of the 4 players, only 2 will make it through into the group stage. It is a brutal format for sure, bearing in mind that they advance on a face-off against Clem and several of all players. But best of luck to our players here, as it should be ByuN and Astrea up first in today's broadcast. Beautiful. Just catching up with the chats. I did see someone asking about how we watching EWC. For me, it was blocked on Twitch, but it was available on YouTube. So I do recommend checking out the YouTube stream. Again, it should be there. I say should. It was available to me, but I did see that Tally mentioned that it wasn't available on YouTube either. But yeah, that wasn't the case last year. Unfortunately, it's the case this year. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Gabe looking pretty swole. He's looking like a beast, Pappy. Oh my god. But a bit of a shame that we didn't have anyone like playing with the camera or posing when it came to the play intros. But I also know that they had to get through it quickly. So there's a lot of players to get through. Let's go. Gabe, too big, Pappy, too big. Astrea wins the whole thing. Does anyone else mulled because they missed their signing chance? Yeah, as MJG was mentioning, like there was a period in time where they had to sign players before EWC. But again, Astrea qualifying for the Esports World Cup did happen so close to it that it looks like no teams were able to pick them up in time, which is a shame for sure. I feel like that hurts Astrea more than anything. Like Astrea, he deserves to be supported for sure. He deserves that support, deserves to be on the team. So it's a shame that he missed out. It is for sure a shame. So I hope Astrea does well. I hope he does well, despite that fact. The wolf, Pappy. Let's go. Yeah, here we go. We have today's schedule, or at least our current schedule, with ByuN versus Astrea, Gabe versus Lambo, then the winners match, and then the elimination match. These are not all the matches playing in the play-in stage. Bearing in mind, there is a B stream. There is a B stream happening concurrently as well, which is going to be covering some of the other matches in this group in the play-in stage as well. Let's see there, the decider match. And I believe the plan for today is to get into the play-in stage and then into the group stage as well. It's going to be a long day of StarCraft. 4 days. 4 days of StarCraft. It's going to be a lot to get into, for sure. I'm sure we're soon going to hear from the players themselves. Yo, meanwhile, big shout to Slow Joe in the chat. Happy God. Thank you so much. Thank you much for subscribing for 11 months, almost a full year of support, which would have been around EWC last year as well. So thank you. Thank you so much, Happy God. Thank you for the support. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Always, always. Bearing in mind as well that this first series is going to be a best of 3. It's the qualifying matches at a best of 5s. That's where the best of 5s kick in. Or are they also best of 3s? Oh. According to Wikipedia, they're all best of 3s in the play-in stage, but we'll have to confirm on that one. We'll wait and see. That'd be crazy if the qualifying match is also a best of 3. They might do it just to like cut down how long it takes to get through the play-in stage, but that would be brutal if they only play best of 3s in the play-in stage. So I'm hoping for best of 5 qualifying matches. I'm hoping. Just watching. I try not to interrupt for like the segments, like the pre-prepared segments that they do have. Try not to interject too much. Either we see Twitch streams say there's premium content not available in your region. Yeah. Unfortunately, we were getting that as well. You were getting that. Is StarCraft 2 at the beginning of EWC? I haven't been following the other games. Currently, we're 3 weeks in. Seltzer did mention before, we're 3 weeks into EWC. I don't know how long it lasts. Like, I'm pretty sure there are other esports after StarCraft 2. But that's what I was going to mention earlier. That is also why StarCraft 2 was in the middle of the week, right? So we're not over the weekend. We're starting in the middle of the week and we're ending on Friday as well, which is a bit of a shame. Like, I feel like weekends are prime time, but again, it's because the games do not end. Oh. The other games, the other esports don't end, right? It's just back to back to back to back. Meanwhile, they got their keys. Beautiful. I love the key system that they have, actually. It's something that hasn't really been done too often in regards to like just playing with the idea of what the trophy is and how the trophy is made. It's a fun idea that they've brought over from last year as well. Meanwhile, yo, we got the vetoes. Let's go. We've gotten rid of some of the more extreme maps out there. We got rid of Incorporeal, Lost Fantasy, Tokamak. Those are the 3 largest. I mean, ByuN has a lot of experience with Astrea. Okay, we can talk about the games, we can talk about the players. Astrea, of course, has some absolutely killer PvT, some of the best in the world, late game PvT as well. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past couple of weeks, you would know that Astrea, he beat Gumiho, he beat ByuN, he beat Ryung, he took maps off of Clem as well with his late game. None if you noticed with those vetoes, but ByuN vetoed the larger maps. He got rid of some larger maps. Maganatha was vetoed, Incorporeal was vetoed, Tokamak was vetoed as well. These larger maps in the map pool were gotten rid of, and I do favor Astrea on those maps. I'm sure ByuN does as well, so he's gotten rid of them. He's gotten rid of them. Again, that is where Astrea is at his best. That's where you could argue that Astrea has the best PvT or late game PvT in the world when he gets to that kind of game state. When he gets into that late game, he has some terrifying PvT. And ByuN is aware of that. This is the downside of showcasing your play ahead of time. We spoke about this previously, how some players have been hiding their play and hiding their builds. Astrea has not, and his PvT was shown to everyone during the weeklies and during the EWC global qualifiers as well. So everyone is now aware of Astrea, his PvT play style, and it's going to be up to Astrea to still make that work or take a different approach or try to get to that game state. Now, something that we have seen recently was ByuN versus Astrea, I want to say last week. And ByuN was hyper aggressive. He never let Astrea get comfortable. He never let him get up to 4 bases. It just didn't happen. It just did not happen. ByuN, he was there to kill Astrea and to punish him and to break him ahead of time. And he was able to do so. So there's already a bit of history. There's already recent matches between these two. Yo, we're getting ready. Yo, we got map intros. Is it loading into Persephone? I feel like we're missing music right now. for some reason, the audience is mic'd at the moment. But okay. I mean, I appreciate the map intros here, but I feel like we're missing some music. Now let's hear from the audience. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're jumping in. And we are jumping into our first series of the broadcast. Let's go jumping into our PvT, and spawning in the top left hand corner we do have ByuN for Shopify. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, sorry, bottom left hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss, the lone wolf himself. I'm not gonna howl. It is Astrea. Yo, Max Angel, let's go. Let us go. Oh my god, and before I forget, of course, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open, soon to be open, I should emphasize. Bam, there we go. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our first best of 3 of the night of the broadcast of the Esports World Cup. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Just catching up. Astrea's been over some pretty crazy builds in the past. Maybe he's heard something. Never know. That's what I was alluding to. I would hope so, right? That's the thing where we've seen Astrea's strengths in PvT. We've seen him be at his best in that late game if he gets up to 3-4 bases. But as I mentioned, ByuN did veto a lot of the larger maps in the map pool in this best of 3. So getting to that game state is now going to be a little more difficult for our players. It's going to be a little more difficult for Astrea. Meanwhile, yo, we get to see their APM and their heart rate in real time. Okay. Oh my god. Monitoring the players. I mean, we've seen this in the past. We saw this at the House Galactic Battle, and I believe we may have seen some of this. Oh, I don't think we saw it at Star Zagora. But from time to time, they have had these stats available in tournaments, which is cool to see. As for timing, we have an economic opener out of ByuN going for a racked expand. CC on the high ground, winding it back here. ByuN, he's known for these more economic starts. Okay, just winding it back a little bit here. We were praising and talking a little about Astrea's playing PvT and a little bit less so on ByuN. ByuN, I would say he is the most macro out of all the Korean Terran players out there. What I mean by that, if you look at players like Bunny, Kyor, Maru as well, Gumiho, Ryung, they're all so much more willing to 2-base all in. ByuN, less so. ByuN, he's the Korean, I say he's a Korean, he might just be the Terran out the Terran out there that is the most willing to go into an economic mid game, to get into a 3rd base and to go into a standard PvT out of all players. On the one hand, I do favor Astrea against that kind of style, true. On the other hand, ByuN, I'm not saying he's passive, not at all. He does still hit timing attacks, just rarely all-ins. Like ByuN, he's not really one to pull the boys too often. For now though, the initial Zealot does slip into the main. It's going to be Zealot first here to delay the CC, and with the RNG here, nice RNG, nice movement out of that SCV. I should emphasize, as the SCV does survive, the CC will complete, and this Zealot should be dealt with. Behind this is going to be a Twilight Council out of Astrea, going for a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council into Blink. Zealot does get 1 SCV. Oh, for our first blood, let's go. Do you think the guy in the production, he's on it? He's there waiting for the first unit to die to spam the first button. Let's go. The hype. Shout out to the production. Oh, that was a close one though, actually. When it comes to first blood, what died first, the SCV or the Zealot? True. Actually, I think the SCV would have died first, right? Am I crazy? Because it was a melee attack. Yo, we need an instant replay. We did an instant replay on that one. Right? It should have been Astrea, not ByuN, with the first blood. Regardless, it doesn't matter, but just saying. Hard one to call. SCV for sure. Yeah, for sure. SCV would have been the first to go down before the ranged projectile hits. So hey, production making a mistake. Stripping us straight away from his first blood. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have our drop into the main base. At the same time, we have Reaper Hellion poking in towards that natural. Oh, Worker's going to be focused down, getting 2 probes so far. Oh, but the Hellion is dealt with. Straight, he defends his natural. What about his main? 4 probe kills, not bad. Bearing in mind, there's no blink, so the medevac is safe. The medevac is safe. You can load up, you can boost away. Medevac will escape. So nice moves here out of ByuN. Does get away. Does get 4 worker kills. Sure, he lost a Hellion. Sure, he did lose some forces that is natural at the natural of Astrea, but they're designed to harass. They don't really scale too well into a longer game, so a better start for ByuN. Meanwhile, Astrea claiming his third. That is a third base before Robo. The observer's pointing that out. So again, a more economic start here out of Astrea. Astrea, he does cut some corners. I do like this in the current, like the meta of PvT has been changing so much over the past couple of months, over the past 6 months even. If you've been watching, you would know this, but there's just been so many iterations, so many metas in PvT that have been just coming and going. If you recall, it was really only at DreamHack Dallas where it was non-stop 2-base all-ins out of the Terran, and then that died off because we had Protoss players playing more and more safe. But now here we see Astrea opening up with a later Robo, which is often not seen nowadays. And it might just be punished. It's a very ByuN move. ByuN, he does push out, and what do I mean by a ByuN push? No stim, and no +1. We're moving out with vanilla Marines, but we have 2 tanks behind us. That's the backbone of the army. This is designed to try to catch out Astrea ahead of time and try to punish that third base. And remember, Astrea, his Robo is late, so his immortal production is delayed as well. You know, you have auto harass into the main. Nice kiting here from Astrea. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets a couple of Marines. Nice kiting so far, doesn't lose anything in the main. Shatters to the picture-in-picture. And Astrea, he shuts this down. ByuN expanding on location, and ByuN pulls away. Whew, okay, nice moves out of Astrea. Again, he did nibble away at the army enough. He will lose 1 Stalker in the process, but again, he shuts down the push, he shuts down the aggression, and if you remember what we said at the start of the series, we spoke about how ByuN, out of all the Terran players out there, I would say he's the most willing to expand and get a third, and there it is, third base on location. Like again, ByuN, he is not really one to pull the boys too much. He's not as aggressive as the others in that sense, not as all-in or committed, but despite that, he's still going to be very active once the upgrades kick in. They're about to. Sim is finishing up, Combat Shields is finishing up, Medevacs have arrived, and now we can move out. Now this army has more sustain with Medevacs with Stim. And once again, Astrea is in position to delay, to pick away at the army. Catching out a couple Marines, making use of the healing pad as well. Let's go. Alright guys, auto charge into the natural. Gets a couple of probe kills, not bad. 1, 2 workers going down. And again, it's on Astrea to just pick away these Marines at the same time, drop into the main. Astrea's not quite in position. Probes are going down. He's forced to pull the boys. Workers are falling. This is quickly stacking up. 8 probe kills already. And ByuN's made his way towards a third. Tries to bait out the mine shots. Nice on bar out of ByuN. He does preserve those Widow mines. 11 probes, 12 probes going down. The drop in the main base finally being cleaned up. Ooh, the immortal goes down. Yeah, bit of miscontrol there from Astrea. No shield battery. Oof, yeah, no shield battery. Oh. No shield battery at the third base. Widow mines are cleaned up, tank as well, and Astrea, he may have lost the immortal, but he shuts down the army and he saves the third. Whew, let's go. Does save the third base, does hold. Now, on the one hand, Astrea, he saves the base, he saves the expansion, he preserves his army for the most part, but he lost a lot of workers. As the observer is pointing out, 22 probe kills throughout the course of this game. That is brutal economic damage. That is critical damage there already being done by ByuN. And again, as you mentioned, it's not like he's been all in, but he has been going for drop places, been going for split pushes, and Astrea has been having a hard time keeping up. And it's not too apparent with just how ahead ByuN is, but you can see that supply disparity already between the players, and that is only going to get larger and larger over time. ByuN dropping into the main, Astrea in position, scan does reveal that, ByuN backs off. But again, ByuN is just building up a greater army. And Astrea is in trouble. Now, when behind, what? Dark Shrine, baby, let's go. And this would be a way to ideally force back the army, get some economic damage, but ooh, I think the scan did reveal it, so it does cancel the Dark Shrine. We have Disruptor production on the way before Storm. You can see Temple Archives in production, but Disruptor is going to be out first, and that is going to be another way to bounce back. Disruptors, you can be down 20, 30 supply, and still take a fight with some well-placed Novas. So there's going to be a lot of riding on those Disruptors. Meanwhile, second starport's on the way from As Viking, eventually into Liberators. Eventually. We'll get there. As Astrea is trying to keep up. And again, ByuN currently has momentum. He has map control. Astrea being active. And the zone ByuN away. Second starport now coming online. Ooh, catching out some stalkers. And I would love to see an eye on the disruptor count currently. I think there's 1 disruptor with the main army, maybe 2. Storm has begun. But ByuN, he's not actually pushing in. He's not committing to any draw play. He's just vying for map control. This is giving Astrea time. It's giving him time. The observer does see the rotation. Astrea is keeping up. Yo, shout out to the shield battery as the auto turrets didn't really do much damage. They didn't really get much done. And here comes his Zealot run by. Does somehow step by. Not bad. This is what he needed. This is what he needed. He does delay the base. He can force a cancel. And ByuN turns around. Oh, that's a kill? Oh, that should not have happened. That's a kill, not a cancel. Ay. And ByuN does turn back around. Nice run by here by Astrea. Well worth it. Catching reinforcements. And again, ByuN, he's getting caught out here. You see him rotating over towards the gold. Zealots into the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down. And again, this is very necessary damage from Astrea. We mentioned earlier that Astrea, he's had a bit of a harder time here in the early to mid game when it comes to preserving his own workers. But there it is, 10 SCV kills, 11 SCVs. Half the army races back home. And for the most part, Astrea's been keeping up with the main army rotations. I say that looks like Astrea, he does not see the main army of ByuN. You can see Astrea, he rotates in between his natural and his third. He's not ready at the fourth. Uh-oh. But he does have some cannons to buy some time. ByuN stims in. Astrea, he does race over. There's the recall. Yeah, Astrea, he was out of position. Thankfully, he does have that recall. Oh, massive storms. Astrea is holding. Astrea is holding on. And what's terrifying is that we are getting up to that point where Astrea is getting up to 4 base saturation, up to a 5th base. At the start of the series, we did try to emphasize that Astrea, he's at his best in the late game. He's not there yet, but he's getting there. He's getting to that point where Astrea can slow the game down, where he can slow down his opponent even, and focus on these main fights, these main engagements. That is where Astrea is at his best. On the one hand, yes, ByuN did an amazing job killing 22 workers at the start of this game, in the lead up to the mid game, but Astrea, he hasn't lost workers in quite some time, and we have another Zealot run by it, another 5 SCVs, another 5 workers going down. Astrea, he's catching up. I would say at this point he's caught back up. We have a back and forth, another Zealot run by on the way. Observer does spot the main army. Ooh, nice EMP onto High Templar. Ooh, another EMP! Yeah, storms are denied. Colossus goes down. Those are brutal EMPs. He had 5 High Templar, and every single one was EMP'd. Okay, we have more High Templar coming in. Another storm, just a zone. And there's a couple more storms left over. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal connections. A couple of storms, and Astrea, he does hold, he does take it. And once again, oh my god, another storm does connect. Brutal storms. I'm loving how Astrea, he doesn't only have 2 groups of High Templar, but he has High Templar spread out all between his bases. And now he's collapsing in. Yeah, oh my god, another storm! The flanking storm comes in, and Astrea, he can take this fight. ByuN has to get the hell out of here. He has to back off. Did a great job catching the first Colossus, but now we have a second Robo on the way, more Colossus building up. It did take a lot of storms, a lot of High Templar, but Astrea, he barely had enough. And again, he had High Templar. You can see them here. They're spread out in between his third, his natural, his 4th base. Even though he had some brutal EMPs, it was still a handful of High Templar with storm. Finally, the Observer goes down. Whew, that was the MVP Observer. It was giving Astrea all the information he needed. Now he does lose it. ByuN, once again, trying to find a way across the map. He's maxed. The Ghost said, oh, not quite getting caught out. Instead, the Colossus is. Yeah, rough movement. Very rough movement here. We have some storms going to be connecting. He gets one, but the other High Templar goes down. Better storms here towards the end. And how many High Templar are left over? Colossus, a bit of miscontrol, a bit of misrally. Colossus does rally in. And again, Astrea, he needs those storms to hold on. High Templar, they're coming in from behind. The funnel Colossus goes down. Oh, it does land the storms, though. They're barely landing. Oh, my God. And again, it's still a very close fight. The medevacs, they're putting in a lot of work keeping everything alive. Those 6 medevacs, they're running out of energy. But Astrea, he's barely holding on. His second Robo is now done. Now we can make 2 Colossus at a time. Bearing in mind that the Viking count is very low, or I say it's low, it's non-existent. So Colossus will be ideal here. He needs those Colossi. Then he can hold. And again, it's Storm ByuN to break Astrea. Looking for a way in. Colossus just now popping out. Storm does actually get a medevac. Does catch a medevac. Ugh, Stalker's going down. But Astrea, he holds the line. And the Colossus have arrived. He's got two. He's got two Colossus so far. And more Storms are going to be landing. Yeah, and he's chasing down ByuN. ByuN is overextending. It does overextend. Kiting decently well against the Zealots, but the Stalkers. Oh my god, a crazy blink out of Astrea. Oh, losing almost every single Stalker. Yeah, that was not it. That was not the blink to go for. Ay, 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 Astrea. Max, calm down. Calm down, Papi, calm down. As Astrea, he was taking that fight, but got a little bit too ambitious towards the end. He lost, what, 8 Stalkers, 9 Stalkers? Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's not like our players have a bank. Like, every bit of gas counts. The Stalkers especially, as you want to build them up every time. You don't want to be warping in Stalkers, not at this stage. So some brutal losses there from Astrea. ByuN backs off, ByuN expanding, taking his own 5th base. Astrea getting a 6th. MP goes off. Nice catch on the High Templar. Astrea fanning out his observers. Yo, we got observer speed. Let's go. As Astrea just licking his wounds, so is ByuN. Does catch one of the observers. As Astrea splits up his army, going for a counterattack headed towards the would-be 5th base of ByuN. The factory may catch a glimpse. Looks like it doesn't quite have the vision for it. ByuN's moving in. Remember, Astrea, he lands half his army. Yeah, massive EMP of the Colossus. First Colossus goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. The Colossus is so exposed. Getting 3, 4 Colossus. Massive pickoffs. And yes, there's a Zealot run by across the map, but it may not matter. The 5th base goes down. But that was 4 Colossus falling. And ByuN, he sims in. He sims in. He breaks the expansion. Sure, he's losing SCVs across the map. And we're going for a pseudo-base trade. ByuN takes down the center Nexus. At the same time, though, ByuN loses the 5th and the 4th. Yeah, 41 SCVs going down. ByuN, he's all in. Yeah, ByuN, he's all in, but Astrea is warping in more High Templar. He's holding onto his Storms. And ByuN, he backs off. Ooh, ByuN, he backs off, and this is not worth it for ByuN. ByuN, he lost 2 bases and 3 mineral lines. He lost 3 mineral lines here, and he's racing back home. Down to 9 SCVs. No shot. And Astrea, he has weathered the storm. He holds, he survives. It was a brutal fight, losing all those Colossus, but ByuN, he didn't chase, he didn't commit. I mean, he couldn't, he had no reinforcements. He raced back home. And Astrea, he's running away with this. He's running away with this first game. Astrea is going to be the first to max out. Astrea, he preserved his workers. He's got 80 probes. Astrea is looking for one big fight. Yeah, ByuN, he's feeling the pressure. He knows that he's not in a good position, not anymore. I was concerned about Astrea splitting up his army the way that he did. I mean, that led into Astrea losing all the Colossus, but hey, he got away with it. Oh god, the Storms. As ByuN has to race through the Storms, has to chase through, gets another Colossus. As he moves out, another Zealot run by. And again, ByuN, he does not have an economy. And you can see the army, it's battered, it's screwed. GG gets called, and Astrea, Max Angel, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. And again, it was the early game. It was early to mid game where we did have ByuN popping off. ByuN, he was able to have a very strong start, but we did take note of Astrea and his ability to defend, to recover, and more importantly, counterattack. If you remember, it was in the mid game where Astrea, he was able to get away with those Zealot run-bys, with those Zealot counterattacks. Remember, he was able to pick off SCVs, force ByuN back home, successfully defend back at home. And a big reason for that, I do want to emphasize the vision, the map awareness of Astrea. The observers were able to see most of the rotations. Astrea, he was able to keep up. There was one time where Astrea was caught out of position when we saw ByuN push at the 4th base, but Astrea had a recall. He had that one recall available, so he was able to recall in time, keep up with the movement of ByuN, even though Astrea did miss it. And Astrea, he shut ByuN down, took some very nice fights, some very nice unit control as well for Astrea to split up all the High Templar. Again, they were spread out so well, despite the fact that ByuN had so many ghosts with EMPs. Many Storms still landed, many Storms still hit, and Astrea takes game 1. Let's go. Let us go. Astrea, he does take a lead in the series. And remember, best of 3. Not a best of 5, it's a best of 3 here. So una más, one more game is all that Astrea needs to advance on into the qualifying match. Let's go. Meanwhile, the pressure is on ByuN here. And again, I feel like a lot of people, as we have our map intros, let's go. Again, I feel like we're missing music here. But I appreciate the map intros. As we go into ley lines. Fun fact, we thought ourselves about making our own map intros as well. I appreciate it. It reminds me of like back in the day, like the Base Rate TV, they used to have their own map intros as well with their own music. It was always very hype. Here we go. Jumping it. We're the official Aussie stream now. True. Again, if you're out there, if you're in Australia, if you're having a hard time watching, we'll get into this. Top right hand corner here of ley lines. We have our South Korean Terran player. We have our red Terran going for the proxy in the center of the map. It is ByuN. And going for the proxy 2 racks. And in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is Astrea. And here we go. The Raxes are set. They are ready to go. We are committing to the proxy. Astrea does scout at the natural base, and he is going to be checking a third location. Where exactly? As he does move out across the map, and it looks like it should be barely out of range. Yeah, barely out of vision. He does not scout the center of the map. He does not see the proxy coming his way. Not yet. What I was going to get at, I believe you can Google it. It is on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I believe it is on YouTube. It is on Google. But if you're in Australia, if you cannot watch the mainstream, if you want to tune into the mainstream, you can. If you have a VPN, you can use that. Like VPNs will work to watch Twitch from a different region to be able to watch it back at home. So you can use a VPN. Otherwise, something that worked for me is YouTube. You can also watch the stream on YouTube, not Twitch, and it may be unrestricted on YouTube for you. It was for me, but I know it's not for everyone. So if you're in Australia or another region that happens to have EWC blocked on Twitch, then check YouTube, or you can use a VPN. Those are your 2 options, I would say. Yeah, as the Marines are revealed, the bunker's on the way. Again, it's going to be a 2x Marine bunker rush here. Zealot has arrived, and probes are getting picked off. Nice kiting here by ByuN. Oh, and this is getting out of hand here. 5 probe kills, 6 probes already. 6 workers go down. Bunker is denied. A Stalker has made it. This is still going to be a tough hold though for Astrea. Losing 6 probes, losing the Zealot. Yeah, the shield battery is under fire. If he can survive long enough for it to finish, then he can hold, but the Stalker's taking so much damage. Yeah, and Astrea's getting out of hand. Sorry, ByuN is getting out of hand. He's getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. Yeah, down goes the shield battery. The Stalker is barely standing. It's barely standing here. He's throwing out a second Stalker. We need a backup shield battery. We need them. We need the shield batteries. As ByuN, he's just coming behind them. Mind, he's transitioning. Okay, ByuN, he doesn't press the issue. I do think he could have gotten a little bit more done at the natural, but no, ByuN, he backs off and Astrea holds. Okay, never mind. I was getting concerned, especially with the death of the shield battery, that we would get a little bit more damage, maybe even the pylon on the low ground. I thought at least the pylon would go down, but ByuN, he thinks better of it. He does back off. He will expand, and I would say that Astrea's in a better position. A really important part here is that ByuN, remember, his CC is very late. It's a delayed CC because of both Raxes. It was both Raxes and the factory before CC, so Astrea will have a very nice economic lead at the start of this game. Now, this doesn't mean that ByuN is out of it, not by any means. Remember, he killed 6 probes, so that was nice damage early on. The bunker, of course, was denied, and that was also a deterrent for ByuN. But ByuN, he does have Cyclone production with this factory follow-up. He could try to be assertive early on and try to get some earlier game damage. We'll see. But again, ByuN, he was hoping for more. Ideally, he was hoping that the bunker would finish, of course. Then he could actually maintain his position. Behind the Cyclone into tank. ByuN, he's known for these early tank pushes without any upgrades with vanilla Marines. We're leading towards that here. Nice hallucination scout, does confirm the lack of add-on. He sees no tech lab on the starport, he sees the tech lab on the factory. Yeah, the observer's just confirming. I didn't see the tech lab on the factory, but he can make the assumption he's going to rescout just in case. We'll rescout. YouTube does work. Yes. It was YouTube was working for me. So if you're in Australia, if you cannot watch the main stream on Twitch, then do look it up on YouTube. Astrea going for a DT. Oh, he's crazy. ByuN is moving out across the map. Astrea going for a Dark Shrine. Okay, bold move. Does go for the Dark Shrine. Oh, he just hallucinated. No force field. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's no force field. The tank has arrived. We spoke about it earlier. These early tank pushes here from ByuN. He's known for it. And he's going for the Archosis pylon. He will catch the gateway. Backup pylons on the way. The Dark Shrine is going to be scattered, of course. Oh, brutal tank shots here on the sentry. Again, the Dark Shrine is seen. And Astrea is warping in those Dark Templar. Forcing out scans, takes down the Cyclone. And even trying to force friendly fire. There's the first scan. Turrets are on the way back at home, so ByuN is getting ready for those Dark Templar. And he's getting into the mineral line. So far, 3 probe kills. Takes down the Dark Shrine, no more DTs, so just the 1. And GG. Yeah, GG gets called. The natural is broken. Astrea just being a little bit too greedy there, teching up. Was not able to save that natural base, and ByuN ties it up 1-1. Whew. GG, well played. Honestly, I did favor Astrea after the opener. I do think it was impressive that he was able to defend, able to preserve his base, able to get an economic lead from there. But as we saw, Astrea, he did miss the move out. He was not able to defend. Just before the push, if you remember, there was a hallucination. He hallucinated probes. He did not have that force field, so that meant that was that much less to defend back at home. He didn't see the move out. He wasn't able to engage ahead of time. He was unable to force an earlier siege. GG. GG, well played. It was a risky move out of ByuN, but he was able to sneak out across the map in time. And sneak out the win over Astrea. Let's go. Let us go. And with that, we're going to the ace match, and we'll see how this story ends. This could still go either way. Now, bearing in mind, regardless of who wins and who loses, the series doesn't end here for them. They have the lower bracket. They have an extra life. They have that lower brackets, that elimination round, that they will still have a chance to redeem themselves and to go further and progress into the main event. So they still have another chance. Apparently Channel 7 has EWC rights. I cannot confirm that. Oh, yo, let's go. Ultra Love. The map intro. Send it, Pappy. Send it. So we are loading into Game 3. But yeah, that is interesting that I don't know if Channel 7 have their own streaming platform or if you just have to watch TV to watch EWC in Australia. That would be crazy. But okay. In the left-hand corner, we do have our South Korean Terran player, though. It is going to be ByuN for Shopify. And in the top right, we have the American Protoss player himself. It is Astrea. I know, I missed the fanfare for ByuN. I know. They're just so fast with their intros. They just go in. Calm down. As we find ourselves in the ace match, this time ByuN throwing down the racks back at home. This time it's back at home. He does not proxy. Channel 7 getting into esports. True, I should contact Channel 7. Get us on for EWC. We'll give him the updates on Sunrise. I don't know. I'll be honest, I have not watched TV in years. Unironically. Smurge. For the time being, though, we do have an economic opener. Ranks expand out of ByuN, going Marine first, not even a Reaper. So again, preserving his gas, being as efficient as possible. And of course, Astrea does confirm. With the probe scout, he does confirm the timing of the CC, so he knows that he's safe. From here, we could see Astrea cut some corners, and he could once again go for a faster third base. I would say it would be risky here on Ultralove. Welcome, by the way, welcome to Ultralove. Ultralove is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Shorter rushes by ground. Aggression is favored on this map. We often see a lot of two-base all-ins. I did emphasize at the start of the series that ByuN is often not one to go for a two-base all-in, but he does have the capacity to do so. So we'll keep an eye on ByuN, as it does open up racks into Tech Lab, into early Marauder production with the concussive shell. This is designed to punish a player that tries to punish ByuN. What I'm getting at, winding it back a little bit here. Remember, ByuN, he went for a faster CC on the low ground, and it is not uncommon for a Protoss player, when they scout that, to try to punish and move out early on with early Adept and Stalker aggression, to try to punish the economic start of ByuN. So ByuN's follow-up Marauders is designed to punish that punishment, and try to catch out the early Stalker and Adept aggression. Speaking of, Astrea is pushing, and ideally ByuN wants to catch out this Stalker. Oh, Jesus. As we're cutting to player cam, player POV. Stalker moves up the ramp. Mortar's revealed, and the Stalker gets caught. Yeah, massive catch here. Stalker is going to go down. Interesting time to show us, the POV, but yeah. I don't know if this would be the time. As we have a proxy across the map, going for the... Oh, was that it? Going for the Dark Shrine? Okay, going for DTs. Let's go. But yeah, the early game is an interesting time to show us this. I feel like what would have been cool as ByuN gets first blood and he moves out across the map, looking for another Stalker, see whatever he's done just in time. Yeah, just barely done in time. I would have loved to have seen a player POV for the proxy, actually. I think that would have been fun. For ByuN's POV. I think that would have been a good moment for it. It's too late now, but it's always a hard call to make when to switch to POV and not, for sure. Like it can be really hard to make that call. Sometimes you go into it and it can ruin a moment as well, right? Like, you don't want to go into a POV for a big fight because you want to show the whole screen. Ideally, you want to show POV, I would say, for harassment, right? Like for multi-pronged aggression. I think that would be like the best time for that sort of thing. Oh my god, ByuN comes in with the scouts. Yeah, a bit of a he does shake his head there. Astrea being so cheeky, but he gets found out immediately here. Turrets are on the way. Of course, I'm sure ByuN holding onto scans. And the DTs are waddling in, but the turrets are finishing. Yeah, they're finishing up just in time. So cheeky move by Astrea, but ByuN, he's wise to it. At least Astrea can force out some scans. How weird that EWC mainstream does not cast the planes. I believe they do. I believe the mainstream is currently live with the planes. They're on it. As the pylon goes down, Dark Shrine is going to be targeted. And with Astrea going for a charge base opener, no blink. Interesting. Opening up and going to charge Archon into early Storm. Temple Archives is on the way. Astrea, he's not going for an all-in, not by any means, but an interesting start. Going for a charge base opener, this is typically designed to shut down early tank pushes, which, to be fair, is what ByuN did go for last game. If this was game 2, like Astrea, he'd be well set up for it. But we can see that ByuN is going for an early ByuN move out, which charge can still deal with, of course. We'll see if Astrea can get an eye on what's happening as he does miss the move out. There we go. Does spot it. Scan does catch a first Dark Templar. Can he get away? Oh my god, barely not. Whew. It barely doesn't get away. But Astrea is now aware of how much danger he's in. He's warping in back at home. He's still waiting for Storm. Has he been too greedy? Like, Storm is nowhere near finishing. Oh no. There's no Storm. Not for this. Yeah, Marines, they sort of step in. They go for the expansion, and I don't think Astrea can stop this. We have DTs across the map. They're wreaking havoc. Getting a couple of SCV kills, and the base wolf will go down. Massive pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. Now, I did mention how early charge can protect you, can save you, and you can use it defensively. But that's only if you warp in Zealots. Unfortunately, Astrea was teching. Astrea was taking up into Storm, taking up into Blink, into +1. He just didn't really have much of a force to work with, so he got caught out. Storm is now finishing, but the pressure's on Astrea as he falls behind. We get an okay Storm, but ByuN, he was able to split in time. We're holding on to another Storm. Now, to be fair, in game 1, if you recall, ByuN had a stronger start as well, right? ByuN, he was able to, I mean, it was a little bit different. In game 1, ByuN, he killed 22 workers. Here, he kills a base. You could argue that this is maybe even more brutal. But Astrea, he's been able to come back before. He's been able to recover in this very series. And we'll see if he can do it again. It's not going to be easy. And see, this is when I would go like go for the player POV. Like here, like ByuN is dropping into the natural at the same time pushing in between the bases, causing a distraction. Storm pops up. Oh, High Templar goes down. Nice snipe there out of ByuN. Better Storm. Oh my god, the Storms are connecting. Yeah, Storms, they punish ByuN. Does take some massive Storms to the face. But can he still get the expansion though? Picks up some pylons, but he will not get the Nexus. Dropping into the natural. And that's going to be 14 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. It's 14 workers and we're still not done. And the base from earlier. So ByuN getting further ahead. As he steps in. Does focus on as many workers as he can. It's going to be 18 probes falling. And Astrea technically does hold, but he lost so much. The workers, the base, the economy. It's all in the gutter here. And if it wasn't for the Storms that Astrea was holding on to, I mean, that could have just been game then and there. So Astrea, he does survive, does hold. But he's still very much on the back foot. You can see he's ready for drops in the main. TTs, they hit the third. SCV's going down. Getting quite a lot of SCVs actually, but at the same time the tech is exposed as well. 8 SCV kills, but across the map Astrea, he will lose the Cyber Core. As ByuN stims in. Yeah, he stims in, the Marauders, they built a tank. Jumps into the main at the same time. Astrea, he's in position. Nicely done. Astrea keeping up the main. As Astrea, he's trying to hold on here, but ByuN, the rally is looking insane. He's just sending everything across the map. Oh, yeah, it does send everything. The reinforcements are on the way. He scans, checks for a 4th base, sees that there is none. ByuN is in a better economic game state. He has a better economy. He's pushing in. And the Storms are good. Are they going to be good enough, though? I mean, they were pretty good. As Astrea is holding on to more Storms at the natural. But the 3rd base, oh, brutal EMP. Yeah, ByuN ensuring there are no more Storms. Mindshot's catching out some of the reinforcements. High Templar moving in. Oh, the EMPs, they connect once again. And now there's 0 Storms. Yeah, 0 Storms remaining. GG gets called. And ByuN, he will take the game in the series 2-1. Advancing on to a qualifying match. Whew. GG, and again an intense back and forth here between ByuN and Astrea. Unfortunately, again, Astrea, he just had a really hard time getting eyes on the move out of ByuN and cutting corners, both in game 2 and game 3, right? In game 2, Astrea, he missed the tank push, the early tank push, the early move out, the early game aggression out of ByuN was missed, so Astrea wasn't able to get ready for it. He wasn't able to slow it down. Wasn't able to engage. Same here in game number 3, where he was unable to get ready for the early push from ByuN with the Mass Marine, with the Mass Marauder. He did go for a charge base opener, which isn't really designed to kite, but we saw that he was skipping warp-ins. He was trying to rush into Storm, into High Templar, which was not ready in time. It was before this attack. This is the final attack, but before this is when the game was almost decided then and there with ByuN's early push when he broke the 3rd. Like, ByuN gained a lot of momentum with that early move out. And again, Astrea, he didn't see it until it was across the map, until it was halfway across the map with his Dark Templar. So ByuN, so Astrea, he was cool with his pants down, and ByuN.
Everybody, we're down here on the stage with ByuN. An incredible first round. You gotta be
we got Maddox
after that one, and I want to know a little bit of the forethought that went into it.
Maddox.
We're gonna go back to map drafts. You really good on Ultra Love. Everyone thought you were gonna pick that for your first map, but you chose Persephone, and unfortunately did lose on it. But I have to wonder, what was the strategy there?
일단 변현 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 일단은 첫 번째 질문으로는 한번 맵 뱀픽으로 좀 들어가 볼게요. 일단 울트라러브를 좀 고를 거라고 다들 예상을 했는데 페르세폰을 고르셨어요. 그리고 좀 패배를 하셨죠. 좀 그 맵 뱀픽의 좀 이유가 좀 궁금하거든요.
일단 사실 다들 예상대로 1세트를 울트라러브를 고르려고 했는데 갑자기 상대인 아스트레아 선수가 저한테 너 울트라러브 고를 거지? 하면서 예상을 했다고 하더라고요. 그래서 그냥 청개구리 심리로 그거 하기 싫어서 그냥 페르세폰을 골랐는데 그래도 뭐 빌드 준비한 것도 있고 했는데 그래도 잘 안 됐네요.
Well, I mean, everyone expected me to pick Ultra Love, but Astrea actually told me like, "Oh, you're gonna pick it. It's so obvious. You're gonna pick Ultra Love." So like, I didn't want to fall for that, so I picked Persephone, and I actually had the build to prepare for that map, but it didn't work out.
Well, how well were you acquainted with Astrea's strategies going into this matchup?
I'm curious what he says here.
Against him, was that maybe an information finding opportunity?
이제 아스트레아 선수가 워낙에 좀 다양한 빌드를 선택을 하고 좀 여러 가지 변수를 보는 플레이를 또 선호를 하잖아요. 그래서 좀 아스트레아 선수와의 이 대결에서 어떤 걸 준비를 하셨는지.
일단 아스트레아 선수가 다양한 걸 하긴 하지만 전체적인 틀은 같다고 생각하거든요. 어느 정도 부유하게 시작하고 그걸 좀 중점으로 노리고 한 빌드를 선택을 했고 또 작년 EWC에서 아스트레아 선수를 만났기 때문에 어느 정도 잘 아는 사이란 말이에요. 그래서 뭐 3세트에서 다크를 예상했다든지 뭐 그런 거 보면은 제가 예상한 게 잘 맞아 떨어진 것 같아요.
Yeah, I mean, he uses a lot of different openings, but I think the baseline is actually the same. He opens greedy and then he goes to the aggro and all the attacks overall. And that being said, I actually have met in last year's EWC, so I know his playstyle. So I do know how to counter him. So I think that went well. Also for about the expecting the DT picks of Astrea, I think that went well as well.
I think it went well for you. You're standing here doing the winner's interview, and I'm sure this won't be our last time in the tournament. Always great to talk to you, ByuN, and impressive games from both of our players to start off StarCraft 2 here at EWC. Let's send it back to the desk and take a closer look.
Oh, do we get staked with the breakdown? That was maybe my favorite part about last year's EWC. If you remember, it was State and Lambo. I think they were the two typically with the iPad. I say that yeah. Wait, State. He was rocking that iPad. It was beautiful. But GG well played. Again, ByuN, he was referring to like his timing attacks here, and again, even on Persephone, if you remember, ByuN, he was ahead. He did take a lead, but he wasn't able to close it out early enough, I'm sure, as he would have hoped for. We spoke about how Astrea, his strengths lie when the game slows down, when he's able to get a solid 3-4 base economy, and he got there in the first game. But in game 2 and game 3, he was able to break Astrea early. I didn't really put too much emphasis on it, but I guess I should have also mentioned how in both game 2 and game 3 as well, did have Astrea going into Dark Templar, which is another big tech choice from Astrea, which never really paid off. It was proxy DTs in game 3, and it was the DTs at the natural in game number 2 as well. That also did impact the defense. That also meant that Astrea had that much less to defend as well, which impacted, that defense, that game, and the series. So GG well played. And again, really well won there by ByuN as we get ready for our second series of the broadcast. Up next after this match is going to be Lambo versus Hero Marine, the German on German action. Let's go, as we're soon going to jump into it. We'll see if there's any like post-game setup. We'll see. That's cool, they've got their win rates. Interesting spread here from ByuN. How he does have a slight edge. 69% with TvT. Love to see it. I can see the iPad on the desk. They might not have that iPad segment, unfortunately. For those that missed it out last year, they had like this. They had like a different set. I want to say they had here where they have the casters and they have the couch. But they have like another set with like a massive screen behind us where we had states where he could like kind of draw on the screen and go into it. My favorite part. Say Lambo. think basically what they did was every single game they would like pick these like highlight moments to clip and then to go over during the analyst section. But regardless, looks like we might not have that. We'll see. So shout out to Roddy and Zombergub, of course, with Kalaris. Does anyone know, were they casting? Was someone else casting? I know they have a really big talent roster at the event. All the boys there. And looks like we might go on a break here. Yeah. So as you can see, Astrea is still in the tournament. He's still in the playing stage. He gets knocked down to the lower brackets. He's going to be waiting for the loser of Gabe and Lambo. Meanwhile, we are going to be here to cover Gabe versus Lambo into ByuN as well, alongside that lower qualifying match. I think both qualifying matches are going to be on the mainstream. That's going to be a lot of best of threes before we get into the group stage. Oh boy. For now though, we are going to be going on a break. Going to be going on a short break here. Also have to pay out the predictions, of course. And when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have our next best of three. See you soon. See you soon. Also, I believe the B stream will be hosting the lower brackets. I believe the B stream will be covering Astrea and the loser of the next series. Again, when it comes to the B stream, that's going to be Ravi, that's going to be Fear Dragon, alongside Steadfast and the Muslim. The three of them are going to be organizing and hosting the B stream. Which is in-house. Like they also flew over the B stream casters to the venue, and they have their own setup as well. They have their own setup. But until then, I'm gonna take this opportunity to go on a break. I'm gonna try to go on as many breaks as possible to preserve our voice over the course of tonight's broadcast. And I think they're about to cut to it anyway.
I am here just trying to show you the secondary stage, a sneak peek while there's no one yet here, but games will be happening. You're already watching the action in the primary stage. Here later on we will have Sound versus Solar to start things off, and that should be an incredible match. I have it on a good word from my friends that there's some cool, hot, spicy builds coming up. But yeah, Cyril's also scheduled to play here later on, as is Hero. So a lot of action coming from this area later on.
That was an interesting segment. It's like, hey, check this area out, but we didn't even get to see it though. Like I thought we were gonna like pan out for like the rest of the play area. That would have been nice. Yeah, okay, we're going on a short break. We're gonna be back soon with a Gabe versus Lambo. See you soon. See you soon.